Well, greetings and salutations, everybody, for the last time in the year 2025. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show. Coming from right here on our YouTube channel. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea, and this is the show, of course, where we talk about the things that we love, the things that give us joy, movies and movie news, TV and streaming, and all sorts of good stuff. I'm joined in studio today one last time for 2025 by our technical producer, Jonathan Voico.
Hello, everybody.
Writer, director, producer, Robert Meyer Burnett.
Greetings for the last time this year.
And of course, a new episode of Designing Hollywood.
Good one.
Up there, very good ones up there. Guys, make sure you check that out on our playlist. And of course, most importantly, you guys are here. Thank you so much for being here and making our little show part of your day. And here's how our show's going to go. We got one topic lined up for you guys today. Of course, this being the final day of the year, we're going to go over our favorite films of 2025. But we are still going to do in the second part of our show is take your live comments and questions. If you guys have a thought, theory, opinion, or question, or topic you'd like us to discuss, as long as we deem it appropriate to be discussed on the show, go ahead and fire it on into our tip link, or not our tip link, we don't use that anymore, into the super chats in our live chat. And that means you got to be watching live, but go ahead and fire it on in. And we still have the super chats open for now. We'll turn them off at some point, but for now they're still open. And we'll get to those questions in the second part of the show. It's been a wild 2025, man.
Certainly has.
Anora won Best Picture. Warner Brothers went up for sale. Quentin Tarantino decided to start bashing some actors for no reason. It's a wild, wild, wild year in the world of movie news. But there's also been some really good movies.
There has been.
A lot of crappy ones that we discussed in our worst films of the year list. A lot of stuff we're looking forward to in 2026, which we covered in our 2026 most anticipated list that we did the other day. But now it's time for us to talk about our favorite films of 2025. So I'm going to give you my top 10. Now, I want to, as I always try to do, is preface it by telling you this. All movies are, of course, subjective. Your list is going to look different than my list. And also, every one of us has a little bit of a different bit of criteria as to what makes a movie the best movie for us. To me, you've heard me say a million times, movies are experiential events. How I evaluate a movie is, how did it make me feel? And to what degree did it make me feel? Whether it's feeling excitement or laughter or fear or dread or contemplation or worry or, whatever it is. Movies are designed to make us feel. They give us that experience. And so movies will make all of us feel differently than the person sitting next to us. And that's why my list is going to look a little bit different than your list and maybe a lot of other people's lists. So I want to give that little bit of a preference. Now, first of all, before I get into my list, I do want to say that there were many films this year that I really, really, really liked. Films like Rental Family, films like Fantastic Four, films like Zootopia 2, which I finally got around to watching it. Really enjoyed it. Really good. There's a lot of films that I really enjoyed, but there's only so many spots. So just because I don't put a film on this list does not mean I didn't like it or I didn't think it was really good. It's just we only have so many spots on our list, right? So just with that little disclaimer given, I'm going to give my list. Rob's going to give his. We'll talk through them a little bit. But I want to give a couple of honorable mentions first. Now, these are ones that were in serious contention to get in my top 10, but I ultimately didn't put them there, but I thought I should at least mention them. The first honorable mention I want to mention is Ballerina. Again, experiential events. How do they make you feel? This movie thrilled me. The whole time I was watching, I was thrilled. It was just a good time. It was, I was afraid they were going to use John Wick to job to the Ballerina, to put over Ana de Armas, but they didn't. Like she's kicking ass throughout the whole movie until those times that she has to square off against John Wick. And then it's like, yeah, but I'm John Wick. And I love that. But the movie thrilled me from beginning to end. So it makes
She was great in it.
She was wonderful in it. That movie deserved, it flopped.
Yeah,
and it deserved so much better. It deserves so much better because it was a really fun movie.
The flamethrower fight.
Oh, the flamethrower fight, which by the way was not CG.
No, only face
It
replacement.
was all done in practical effects.
Insane.
Absolutely insane. Anyway, next honorable mention to me. I gotta mention How to Train Your Dragon. Again, I was just emotional. It made me feel, I was emotional through the whole thing, other than the first 5 minutes, which I thought were terrible. But after the first 5 minutes, man, it got me on board and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. So honorable mention, How to Train Your Dragon. Next honorable mention to me, going back right to the beginning of the year, but man, this movie was such a pleasant surprise to me. Companion. I had such a good time with Companion. And it's really turned out to be Quaid's year. Between that and Novocaine, which I also really liked. And now we got The Boys coming out and everything. So yeah, Companion. It makes my honorable mention list. Also making it to my honorable mentions list, which if you asked me a year ago if I thought this movie would be anywhere near my list, I would have said you're crazy. I got to say Final Destination Bloodlines. What a hoot. Just what a ball watching this film. It would just so surprise me. I don't even like the franchise, but I loved this movie. So it makes my honorable mentions list. Also, got to mention a movie I just watched the other day for the first time. I was really late to the party. Sentimental Value. Stellan Skarsgård. By the way, maybe the best performance I've ever seen from Elle Fanning.
The movie, yeah, the performances are...
Oh, the performances are absolutely next. And I am a sucker for family drama centered stories, right? And dealing with issues with family and stuff like that. Something I think we can all relate to. It was phenomenal. Sentimental Value gets on my honorable mentions list. And the last one I'll mention is an honorable mention. I wasn't going to put it on here at all because technically it wasn't a theatrical film, but I did see it in theater, so I'm going to put it on here. Frankenstein. It might it is my all-time favorite Frankenstein movie. Guillermo del Toro does it again. I thought it was wonderful. So didn't quite make my top 10, but it's on my honorable mentions list for my favorite films of the year. All right. Now we get into the top 10 itself. My number 10 film is one that if you had asked me halfway through the movie, if this film was going to be anywhere near my top 10, I would have said, hell no, because I got close to walking out of it. But I'm glad I stayed around to the end. It's Hamnet. When you get to the end, this is one of those rare movies where when you get into the third act, the last, say, 45 minutes or so, you realize everything in those first two acts was about laying the groundwork for this incredible emotional experience you have getting near the end. It's a movie about dealing with grief, about sorrow, about hope at the same time. It is one that profoundly moved me. And I'll tell you what, prior to watching Hamnet, I have gotten to the point that I quite frankly think Paul Mescal's a little bit overrated. I mean, he's one of the top it boys in Hollywood right now, but I have never been tremendously impressed by him. I certainly didn't love him in Gladiator 2. But I am no longer going to put him on that list because his performance as Shakespeare in this was fantastic. The movie, by the time this movie ended, I was haunted by it for the next 2 or 3 days. I was just thinking about it for days afterwards. So, because again, movies are experiential events. How do they make you feel? This one crushed that. So Hamnet for me is my number 10. At number 9, wow. If you want to talk about going from one extreme to the other, Predator Badlands, baby. I don't care what he says. I was jumping in my chair. I was thrilled. I was laughing at times. I was like, at times. It was just badass. I loved this movie. And like many other people, when they announced it, I'm like, do you really want to do another Predator movie? So glad they did. I had a ball with it. So I've got Predator Badlands as my number 9. All right. At number 8, again, not a movie I had a lot of interest in. F1 was not tremendous. I mean, like when you mentioned that you were going to get the director of Top Gun Maverick and you got Brad Pitt and stuff like that, you expect it's going to be kind of thrilling, but it was so good that we watched it again on Christmas Eve. We had the family over and we popped it on and watched it again on Christmas Eve and just absolutely loved it. I love this movie. It really was Top Gun in cars. I don't think that's unfair to say. It's Top Gun in cars. but you cared about the characters. The in the cockpit action was just unbelievable. I have never cared. I don't even consider car racing a sport, to be honest with you. I've never cared about racing cars. But I'm kind of curious to go to the next F1 event in Las Vegas now. That's what it can do. I absolutely loved it. F1 comes in at number 8. All right. At number 7. Am I at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Yeah,
So, yep. At number 7. I saw the first trailer for this and I thought this looks like it's going to be a nice little film. Could not believe how much I was completely glued to it. Together. I see what I did there? Glued to it. I didn't even do that intentionally, folks.
Man,
This movie blew my mind.
it blew my mind.
I like Ann and I came out of it and like we were both just amazed by it. And then we said the same thing. It's like, oddly enough, how often do you say this about a horror film? It is a great date movie. This thing, because it's got the horror genre wrapped around it. It's got the horror veneer, but it's a movie about intimacy, fear of intimacy. Having a real life husband and wife starring in it just added to the chemistry as well. And it was unexpectedly, absolutely hilarious at times. Absolutely hilarious at times. But don't get me wrong, it's not a comedy. This movie I thought was just absolutely phenomenal. Didn't do all the great at the box office. Not that many people went to go see it. You should have. Together takes my number 7 spot. All right. In my number 6 spot, it was one of my most, if not my most anticipated film of the year, James Gunn's Superman. Listen, I just can't express when I walked out of that theater just how happy I was. I mean, still to this day, I think it should have been about 15 or 20 minutes longer. But that being said, it was just to me, the comic book, the pages of the comics coming to life, unlike I've ever seen before. I mean, literally you can say Sin City, but I mean like the spirit of the pages of the comic book coming to life in Superman. Again, my all-time favorite Superman movie is Man of Steel. My all-time favorite Superman is Henry Cavill. But David Cornsweet is a worthy successor. He is already a great Superman. James Gunn absolutely crushed this film. So Superman comes in, for me, at number 6. All right. Now we get into the top 5 for me.
And I have to say, this kind of surprises me coming off after Superman. When I saw this on the list, I was like, really? Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And listen, I was not expecting to like this movie nearly this much. Although I did like the previews. I like the trailer for it. I love the presentation they gave us for it at CinemaCon, all that kind of stuff. And who doesn't like Mark Hamill as a villain? The Long Walk comes in for me at number 5. This is another one of those things, kind of like Hamnet, where I was like haunted with it for days. Long Walk is another one of those films that I just felt it haunted me for a while. Because while it's on the surface, it's battle royale, Hunger Games, kind of whatever. On the surface, it might look like that. But underneath, it's about this whole notion of appreciating life and appreciating moments and the value of life. And it was just done in such a beautiful way that by the time the movie ended and I walked out of the theater, I could not stop thinking about it. I just couldn't. And it was for days. I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was a beautiful movie to me. I had an absolute blast with it. So The Long Walk comes in for me at number 5. My number 4 favorite film of the year is also what I think was the best comic book movie of the year. Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts, the movie that I said, what the hell are they thinking when they announced that they were doing a Thunderbolts movie? Kind of got turned around a little bit when I heard who the lineup was going to be. But this movie to me was far better than it had any business being. Again, it made me feel the excitement, the action sequences, they were all good. I thought the characters were all rich and they all owned the screen when they're on. I'm a huge fan of Red Guardian. He's like I think David Harbour is one of my favorite guys in the MCU right now, and I certainly hope they use him a lot more. But I mean, it just, the emotional scenes hit hard. The action scenes hit great. I thought the overall story was great. The fact that it actually started to move the MCU in a discernible direction, like for maybe the first time in a while, I actually saw the MCU steering the ship and starting to head towards something.
Yeah.
All that added up together to me for a remarkably enjoyable experience. I loved Thunderbolts. So for me, it's the number one comic book film of the year. And it comes in at number 4. All right. At number 3, Weapons. None of us should be surprised. None of us should be surprised. When you looked at, the director's previous film, Barbarians, leading into this, the trailers looked fantastic. But every step along the way, even the story mechanic was amazing, because I quite frankly don't like the mechanic of going back and then retelling another scene just from a different point of view and step and repeat. You know what movie did that I just thought they totally botched it? Last Duel. I thought they botched it in The Last Duel.
Because you're seeing the same thing over and over.
Yeah, and I just think they didn't do it in an interesting way that was just kind of, but this was telling the actual same scene, but just showing it from a different perspective. And it completely opened up possibilities as they did it. Just the mechanics of the storytelling were brilliant. The direction was next level. It was legitimately horrifying in places. It's a mixture of genres. It's horror, but it's also a mystery. And that part, like, you're trying to figure out the mystery through it. Terrific performances throughout. Again, just an amazing film. Weapons is my number 3.
Yeah, there was a movie, you guys probably remember this, but because it just dawned on me when you were talking about the mechanics of the editing and the pacing and all that. There was a movie that was loosely based on the Columbine shooting. It was called Elephant. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it was the same thing. It was the same scene, but it'd be someone that was outside, or just people walking down a hall, and it was all in the same time frame.
All right, so that leads us in the top 2. I think everybody can guess what the top 2 are.
I can guess one of them.
But they truly are. I got to go at number 2. It's one battle after another. I watched it a couple of times. I really liked it the first time. And then, to me, it might have cracked my top 5 the first time I watched. But then I watched it again, and I'm like, no, this is better than I remember. The story, first of all, is great. I love the little bit of a twist that sometimes movies have MacGuffins, and sometimes characters are the MacGuffins, right? The girl's mom is the MacGuffin of the movie, really, in many ways. But usually the MacGuffin is a wonderful thing. And the fact that they made this character MacGuffin not so great was brilliant. And it just added to the intrigue of it and everything. Leonardo DiCaprio is going to get nominated for Best Actor in this. But I'll tell you right now, to me, I've picked the should win thing. Sean Penn should win Best Supporting Actor. He absolutely should. I mean, I've never seen Sean Penn like this. He was amazing in it. The kids were great. All the performances were great. The fallibility of even the leads and stuff like that was amazing. It's a long movie, but the pacing was crisp and sharp. The story was constantly in motion and constantly moving. I absolutely loved it. So one battle after another, for me, comes in at number 2. And that leads, no surprise, I've been saying it all year. Now that we've come to the final day of the year, Sinners. It's been my best movie of the year since the day I saw it. It has remained what I think is the best movie of the year. And now that we've come to the end of the year and I've seen everything I needed to see, this is still the best movie of the year to me. I mean, when you look at, I think in terms of the way I talk about Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, that movie to me is the ultimate example of every single discipline in the filmmaking art coming together in a perfect harmony, right? The set design, the makeup, the costuming, the cinematography, the writing, the performances, the direction, the music, the effects, everything done in such perfect unison. Sinners, not on the level of Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, but is likened unto that. Everything in it is brilliant. The costuming, the visuals, the aesthetic, the cinematography, the direction. Michael B. Jordan going constantly taking it up to the next level. It's thrilling. It's, oh God, I loved this movie. It throughout the whole year remained my number one film of the year. So once again, my top 10 are Hamnet, Predator Badlands, F1, Together, Superman, The Long Walk, Thunderbolts, Weapons, One Battle After Another, and my personal number one film of the year is Sinners. Rob, let's go over to you, get your top 10. Then let's talk about some of these movies a little bit, but let's go to you. I'm sure you probably don't have some that are on my list. You probably got some that I didn't have. So what's your list look like?
I want to start by saying one of the things that I was most delighted by the whole year was not a movie that came out this year. It's a movie that's coming out, but we got our first glimpse of it. And, you know, you talk about movies being experiential events. It was at CinemaCon. And there was one thing that I wanted to see at CinemaCon, the most important thing that I wanted to see. And I didn't even know if we were going to see it. And it was, of course, you know what I'm going to say. It was at the Amazon panel. And Amazon, big new presentation, Amazon MGM Studios. They didn't even have somebody come out, lights dimmed. And they showed us 8 minutes of Project Hail Mary. And those 8 minutes reminded me of why I love the movies so much. And the power, it reminded me of a couple of things. Like, I love reading. I've read books since I was a little kid. And I love seeing my favorite books translated into movies. And sometimes it can go one way or another. Like Stanley Kubrick, my favorite director, frequently adapted books. And when somebody like a Frank Darabont makes The Shawshank Redemption out of Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption, becomes one of my favorite movies. I was really, because I love Project Hail Mary, the book. I read it in one sitting. I was hoping. And when I sat in that theater, John, and for those 8 minutes, just the way that they showed, it's different than what they showed the trailers we've seen. It was serious, and I was transported. Even in those 8 minutes, it was the magic pixie dust that I hoped that I was going to get.
Right.
And I was sitting there going, God damn, I love movies. And it was just those 8 minutes. You know, now that said, I think 2025 was a much better year in movie theaters than a lot of people give it credit for. Now, I just want to say that there are 2 movies I think might be on my list that I haven't seen, and one is Sentimental Value.
Yeah.
And the other is
really good.
Park Chan-wook's No Other Choice. I want to start with Companion, which these aren't even in any order, because I was like, Companion came out in January, you know, and again, I went to see Companion. I went to the Harkins Mountain Grove, and when I saw Companion, I was going to see it in a little theater, and somehow they moved it into the big Cine XL theater just because it was a fluke, and I happened to be there. Like, you know, they moved Companion just for this one showing into their biggest theater. I'm like, really? Wow. So I switched in my ticket, and there were only 5 of us in the theater, and I was by myself. And I was sitting there going, and I'd read the script for this movie, and I sat there, and the audience, it was a hoot. I loved everything about this movie. It was when you see a movie where the conception of it and the way it read on the page was beautifully translated, beautifully directed. The script was great. The performances were great. Jack Quaid was great. Everybody was great in it. And it was the only time this year, after it was over, the 5 people in the theater and me were all standing there outside the theater talking to each other about how great it was. I think I was the only dude. And this manager that came over that knows me because I go to the Harkins Grove all the time, he came over to talk about it. And we were just in this little caucus. And I said, you guys, John Carpenter's The Thing is playing here next week. I hope you all go. But it was just I loved it. On that same level, Bring Her Back was another horror film.
I knew you were going to have that one on your list.
Bring Her Back. Mean, surly, nihilistic, what every horror film should be that I love. Bring Her Back, the second film after Talk to Me. These 2 kids, you know, they cut their teeth making TikTok and YouTube videos, whatever. You want to see a horror movie that tells you what horror is all about? This was it. I thought Bring Her Back was amazing. Loved it. Black Bag, Steven Soderbergh.
Oh,
coming
man,
in.
yeah.
And I didn't even know. I missed Black Bag in the theater because it was only in the theater for like a week or 2. And I love Soderbergh. And what a cast, you know, Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett. I mean, I didn't get to see it until I bought the Blu-ray or bought the 4K sight unseen. I watched it like twice in a row. I loved it. It was Soderbergh making an adult thriller
I honestly don't know why that movie didn't get talked about more. It was really good.
It was really good, and it was so much fun. And you know what? It wasn't like 2.5 hours long. It was really, really great. Really loved it. Another movie I don't know if I loved it, but I was astonished by it. Was Warfare, that Alex Garland co-directed.
It's a very visceral.
You talk about experiential events.
Very visceral.
That
very
was. I mean, I
experiential
sat
movie,
there the whole time, like under my chair. I'm like, I don't want to see this movie, even though I loved every minute of it. I'm like, what an accomplishment in terms of filmmaking. It made me certainly never want to go to war.
The closest I had when I saw it was the comparison was Black Hawk Down, and even
yeah. But this was like real time. You are there in your face. I mean, unbelievable.
And look at the cast in it too. Like from top to bottom, the cast was fantastic. The performances were great.
Unbelievable.
It was just a really well made film.
Totally on the other end of the spectrum. Train Dreams.
I didn't watch Train Dreams.
Okay. It's all about. It's at the turn of the 20th century. Pacific. It's in the Pacific Northwest, from where I'm from. It's all about, believe it or not, logging.
Journey of Natty Gann.
I mean, it's just. I love Joel Edgerton stars in it. Will Patton, the actor Will Patton, who I've always loved. I'm obsessed with making a movie about Will Patton and Bill Sadler being brothers, and they pull off a heist. I don't know why. I love Will Patton. I've loved Will Patton for 40 years. He narrates it. And this is just an astonishingly gorgeous movie that, growing up in the Pacific Northwest in Washington State, I mean, I would never have thought a movie about logging. Now, it's based on a book I don't know much about, but I loved it. I loved it. It's not for everybody. You know, it's kind of like, it reminds me of The New World, Terrence Malick's The New World.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's just people, you know, Pocahontas is standing around looking. I loved The New World. I love The New World. And I loved Train Dreams. I'm sorry I saw it on Netflix. I wish I'd seen it in a theater. I didn't see it in a theater.
I don't even remember it being in theaters.
I was kind of bummed out because I would have loved to have seen it on a theater, on a theater screen. Begonia.
See, okay. Before you give me your thing on it, here's my thing. Obviously, Gobatopoulos gave us Poor Things.
Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yeah. That's what I said. He gave us Poor Things, which I thought was remarkable. Then he gave us Kinds of Kindness, which I literally thought was gutter trash. Like I just thought it was so pretentious and just terrible. But Begonia, I thought, okay, this is going to get us back to Poor Things. And I thought it was good. But it to me, it wasn't Sweet Things, but it was a much improvement over Kinds of Kindness.
Yeah.
But you're going to put it on your list?
Yeah, I loved it, and I thought it was incredibly well directed. It's a remake of the Korean movie Save the Green Planet, so I kind of know where it was going, but I just loved it. I loved everything about it. And Jesse Plemons, it's just wild to me how Jesse Plemons, who I loved Friday Night Lights. To me, I know people don't understand what I say when I mean this, but Friday Night Lights, if they made a Star Trek show set in West Texas and it was about football or East Texas, it would be Friday Night Lights. Coach Taylor is Captain Kirk. I love Jesse Plemons. I first saw him on, I never thought that guy, I thought he's never going to have an acting career beyond Friday Night Lights. He's not conventionally handsome, but I thought he was a great actor, and I loved, there was a real empathy to him as a
oddly,
performer.
is the movie that put him over for me. Game Night.
Dude,
that's the one that literally put him over.
Every time he'd show up.
He's so good.
And that was the last thing you'd think. Jesse Plemons could do no wrong.
He's
married to
amazing.
Kirsten Dunst. The guy's my hero.
I think I learned of him first from Breaking Bad.
But also his turn, he goes from doing Begonia to that like 1 day shoot on Civil War. What kind of American are you?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, one of the most chilling performances ever. And he's in the USS Callister Black Mirror episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's awesome. And I loved his performance in Begonia. And let's see, I don't even know where I'm at. A movie I didn't catch up with until later. And I don't know why I was not watching this. Ari Aster's Eddington. I didn't watch it. And I didn't go see it in the theater. I was waiting.
I kind of wish I didn't watch it.
See, I loved it, dude.
I'm glad.
I loved it. I had no idea. I was like, people said it's kind of like a Western. I'm like, it's set during COVID. I was like, and you know what? This is the movie that people talk about our boy here, Reed Richards, who's been in everything, you know,
Yeah.
and he was great in this.
There's a reason he's in everything.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Pedro Pascal I thought he was great in this
The
movie.
performances were wonderful.
Performances were great, and Joaquin Phoenix. I mean, it's not for everybody, you know. And again, I don't even know where I'm at on my list, but F1, I loved. I unapologetically loved F1. We
So
saw
good.
it. We saw it at CinemaCon, you know, and didn't we?
Yep.
Was it CinemaCon? We saw it at CinemaCon in that thunderous, you know, they set up that Dolby system. Unbelievable. And I'm like, I unapologetic. Is it going to change the world? Is it going to cure cancer? No. That movie is wildly entertaining. And you know what? It delivers exactly what it set out to do. The filmmakers, Jerry Bruckheimer coming back, teaming back up with Joe Kosinski. And like you said, Top Gun. Look, when Brad Pitt's in that kind of mode, whether he's Cliff Booth or whether he's walking around like an F1 driver, I don't care. I'll watch him just wander around. He could just sit there in laundromats all day and talk to Javier Bardem. And I've been like, this movie rocks.
How good was their chemistry? Like Javier's and Brad Pitt's chemistry.
It was dope.
So good.
And you know what? I ran out and bought that 4K, and I think I've watched it like 4 times. And it's one of those, it's kind of even though there's great racing sequences, I like the non-racing stuff in it. It's just where the characters are like fabulous people in the pit crew and beautiful women walking around and all those cars. I mean, the cars. And the fact that when I was a kid, I had the Corgi of the John Player Special Lotus, the black and gold Lotus. They clearly knew what they were doing. The Hero F1 car looks like that car that was my favorite Formula One. They didn't call it F1 back then. It was my favorite die-cast metal toy that I had was that black and gold Lotus, and they made the Lotus. I mean, they made the John Player Special. They made the F1 car look like my favorite car when I was a little kid because they knew. It's like when James Earl Jones had the voice of Darth Vader. The scariest thing that I ever saw when I was a little kid was James Earl Jones counting to 10 in Sesame Street, and I couldn't even stay in the room because it was like, where's he gonna go? Yeah, I couldn't do. And he would smile, but it was so scary to me. And when I first saw Star Wars for the first time and he talked, I was like, somebody in the world knows. They knew that guy, because I didn't know he's in like the Great White Hope. I didn't know anything about him. When they put that John Player Special Lotus, I keep saying Lotus, it's not a Lotus. John Player Special was the car, the F1 car. I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. And I've watched that movie. So I'm not gonna apologize. I love that movie. Don't care.
There you go.
Yes. That was, but they made the Corgi car, the dinky, anyway. I hate to go against you on this one.
Uh-oh.
Marty Supreme.
Yeah, it is going to be a top 3. It is going to be a top 3 Oscar contender for Best Picture. It's not going to win Best Picture. It's going to be a top 3, and I loathed it, but I
can understand why.
Everybody else loved it.
I was more enamored of the craft of it all. I kind of felt the same way with Uncut Gems, editorial-wise. You know, it reminded me a movie that I really liked, the Paul Greengrass movie with Matthew McConaughey about the Lost Bus.
Yes.
It reminded me kind of a Paul Greengrass movie, though in a way, the way it was cut. But I love movies about grungy period New York. You show me, I will watch any, like Abel Ferrara's Driller Killer, despite the fact that you've got gore and violence. I just love grungy New York. Basket Case, Taxi Driver, you know, Mean Streets, the Marty Scorsese. I love that. So I like Marty Supreme. Let's see, is there anything else? I keep looking at my list. I think this is it. My last movie is, in fact, Sinners. Of all the movies that I saw, it's probably my favorite. And is it the best movie of the year? I don't know. But is it a movie that I return to again and again and again? Yes. I watch it. I'm every bit of that movie. That movie is so beautifully shot. That milieu, that whole world, you can feel the moisture in the air.
Yeah.
The humidity. You know, everything about that film, I look at it and go, first of all, I love Michael B. Jordan. And watching him play twins, and then there's so many scenes and so much music. It's the kind of thing where it's a movie that I can watch and enjoy, you know, as a whole. but it's also a movie that there's just sections of it that I'll fast forward to and watch sections over and over. And like that scene, why do you have to ask to come in here?
Right.
Just let me in. Why you got to do
And by the way,
that?
the way you said, I love the way you said that you can feel the moisture in the air.
Dude.
Because one of the things Ryan Coogler, you go all the way back to Fruitvale Station. One of the things Ryan Coogler does so well is he uses environment and atmosphere,
Yeah.
and he makes the atmosphere of the scenes jump off the screen at you. So I love the way you put that you can feel the moisture in the air.
That's the
awesome.
thing. I feel like I can't watch that movie unless I'm wearing like a wife beater because I'm going to sweat so much. You know, I got to be in like the deep south. And by the way, I mean, not to be, people always say that I'm so lascivious on this show, but our favorite actress, your wife's hall pass. She's
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
Haley
She's my hall
Steinfeld.
pass. No, Haley Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld.
She is so great in this movie.
Oh,
I'll
she's
just leave
so
it at that.
good.
She's so good. She's so sexy. She's so adult. You know, I always go back to me. There's the True Grit, Haley Steinfeld, and
Yep.
then there's the Sinners, Haley Steinfeld. And I'm like, boy, I used to like, you know, she was so great as a child actress. Now she's like very much grown up.
And married to the NFL MVP.
I know, so I don't want to say anything bad. I don't want to get my head beat in, but no, she's also fantastic. All the actors in this movie are great. I would watch a movie about all like the Chinese shop owners.
Oh,
I love them.
just them as a married couple.
Yeah, I love them. I love the way they do business. They've got to make a spin-off movie about what it was like for them to do business in that time period. You know, because I was like, that movie made me go look it up. Were there Chinese immigrants in that area of the world at that time? Sure enough, there were. You could do a movie about them. Maybe a little earlier than Sinners. It would have to take maybe a prequel or something. But so Sinners was it, man. That's kind of my list. Look, there were other movies I liked that I didn't put on my list, like 28 Years Later. I loved. I know a lot of people didn't. I loved it. So
let's
you know what else I loved?
What's that?
I loved Anemone. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel
Day-Lewis. A lot of people hated that movie. I thought it was.
I thought it was really solid. I don't have it on my list or anything like that, but I thought it was a very.
I was
solid
just
movie.
entranced and knocked out by it, by the way it was shot. It felt like a Terrence Malick movie as well. I would love to have seen it as a double bill with Train Dreams.
Let's go through some of the films this year, Rob. I want to throw out a couple of movies to you and just see kind of where you're at, because there were some ones that we were expecting to be better. I'll start off with this: Wicked for Good. You know, I think you and I both really liked the first Wicked. I thought the first Wicked was fantastic. This one was clearly a big step down. That ended up being, where did that wind up for you on your?
You know, to me, the thing about the Wicked movies is they're good. I think they're both fine. They're just not really my thing. You know, to me, when I think about, did you ever see Return to Oz with Fairuza Balk, that Walter Murch directed? I loved that movie, and I would like to see somebody go back and revisit. I don't think they ever will because they're terrified of doing so. But to go back in the L. Frank Baum, the Wizard of Oz, the whole Oz books, I'd love to see like Ozma of Oz made into a movie. But they're good. They're good, and the performances. You know what? Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are incredible performers.
Yeah, they really
Jeff
are.
Goldblum is so much. Everything about those movies are fun to watch. It's just that for me, they're kind of once you see them, they're kind of in and out. Like I don't contemplate the meaning. Like it didn't make me think the way Eddington did, for instance. But they're good. I just,
All right, guys. So there you have it. Our lists of our favorite films of 2025. Again, I'm sure your list will look very different because movies hit us differently and they make us feel different things. But that's how we would put them up on our list. And I think for both of us, we're going to put Sinners right at the top. Whether it holds out at the Oscars, we'll see. I think it's going to be a 2-horse race at the Oscars.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be one battle after another.
Wait, I don't think I
Sinners.
said one battle after another.
No, you didn't.
I didn't. It's on my list.
Oh, it is on your list. I was actually a little bit surprised.
Actually, I
I know
forgot.
you liked it a lot.
That's why you
battle-
got thrown off.
One Battle After Another is my second favorite movie of the year.
Oh, so you and I have the same one and
Yeah,
two.
I didn't even get to say this. I didn't realize I was like, didn't I say? I didn't
Well,
say that.
you also didn't mention Weapons. I really thought Weapons
I
would have been on
didn't
yours.
mention Weapons. You know why? Because here was the thing. To me, I expected Weapons to be good.
Yes.
it was, and I was gonna say like Long Walk. I love too. Weapons. I was thinking I can't just be the Roy Lee fanboy that I am. I was fanboy over Roy Lee. And those were all of his, and I didn't want to, having just dropped this Roy Lee interview, I didn't want to seem that way. But I loved Long Walk. I loved Weapons. But it was like Companion was a Zach Kreger posse movie that he was gonna direct at one point. But I liked all this. But one battle after another. The greatest regret that I have of 2025 movie going wise was not seeing One Battle After Another in IMAX. Because I've watched it like 4 times now. You know, Paul Thomas Anderson's movies have a way, like, I didn't love Boogie Nights when I first saw it, and now it's one of my favorite movies. I could watch that movie forever. Same with Magnolia. You know, I didn't love it. This was the movie that at first, when I first watched it and I didn't see it in the theater, I mean, I did see it in the theater, but I didn't see it in IMAX, you know, and I was like, I wish I'd seen it in IMAX. And because the aspect ratio is different. And I've watched it like 4 times now, and I love it. I love One Battle After Another. And yes, so Sinners and One Battle After Another are gonna be battling at the top. But I think I said it gave you 11 movies.
11 or 12, yeah. And that's fine. This didn't have to be top 10. So again, for me, for the year, there were a lot of films that I really, really liked that I didn't even include in honorable mentions. Like I said, Fantastic Four, Rental Family, Zootopia 2. I'm going to run down the list here. Naked Gun was one I really liked. I would have liked it more if the third act didn't fall apart, but I still really liked it. What are some other good ones here? That was that was 2024. I'm trying to go down the list, see if there's some other ones that jump out at me that I really like, but I did not include in my list. Smurfs. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, man.
Just kidding. I'm glad you brought up Warfare.
Yeah.
Not on my list, but I'm glad you brought that one up because that one is really
good. And look,
good.
I got to tell you, I purposely left off Superman, Fantastic Four, and Thunderbolts, and I enjoyed all 3 of those movies very much.
Yeah. Again, just because they didn't make a list. Novocaine is another one that I really enjoyed this year. Another Quaid movie that, but just didn't quite make my list. Good Fortune was a movie I really enjoyed, but doesn't quite make my list. Eternity.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I really want to see that.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
I haven't seen it. I haven't. No, I haven't seen Eternity.
Really good. Didn't make my list, but really good. Nuremberg, I really liked. Again, didn't make my list. And so there's a lot of really good ones. Life of Chuck.
You know what? Until you just said that, I've seen that show up.
Life of Chuck?
I totally forgot about it, and I own it. I've seen that movie show up on people's worst of the year lists.
Really?
Yeah. You know what? I forgot. I should have put that on. I love Life of Chuck.
I know you do.
And again, I loved it because it's also a perfect adaptation of a Stephen King story. Flanagan and Rob Reiner knocking it out of the park with Stephen King adaptations.
And again, then my honorable mentions again: Ballerina, How to Train Your Dragon, Companion, Sentimental Value, Frankenstein, Final Destination, Bloodlines. It was a really good mix of films. Like if you look at both of our lists, you got some lighter fare, some heavier stuff, more dramatic, some horror.
But there's a great diversity of kinds of movies that came out,
which is great.
And I think that's kind of being lost. And these were all, for the most part, theatrical.
All right, guys, that's our lists for the best movies of our favorite movies of 2025. We're looking forward to going into 2026. We already did our most anticipated 2026. It's going to be great to see which films jump up and surprise us because a lot of the films on my list here, Rob, were not on my most anticipated of 2025.
Oh, yeah.
Quite frankly, some of the movies that ended up on my list, I didn't even think looked very good.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites. Anyway, whatever your guys' lists look like for your favorite films of 2025, jump down to the comments below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. Today on this New Year's Eve, which is more of a casual show, we're just kind of chatting here today. So we're just going to go now and segue right in to your comments and questions that you guys have been sending in. And Rob's going to stick around today on this New Year's Eve.
Yes, I am.
Final show of 2025 as we take some of your questions here. So, Jonathan, what do we got up here first?
We got Nerdy Beard Man who says, have you ever gotten into rugby, John? Asking as a South African. Sorry, a bit off topic, but I know you love sports. On topic, your most anticipated TV show of 26.
I don't know much about rugby. I know we played a little bit of rugby when I was in high school. Part of our phys ed classes, but I really don't know much. I would love to know more about it. Man, I'm trying to remember which even shows. Obviously, The Pit is opening up here pretty soon, so I'm super excited about The Pit. The trailer just dropped for Shrinking season 3. So I'm going to have to go with Shrinking. It is legit one of my absolute favorite shows on television, period. And you got Michael J. Fox coming into it this year,
Yeah.
which looks so good. What are you in for? Getting a haircut. I thought that was so good. So I'm going to say that. What's your most anticipated show this year?
Of 2025 are coming out.
Coming out in 2026.
For All Mankind,
Oh, of
season 5.
Oh, do they finally have a release date?
No.
Oh.
No, they don't. They don't have, I would say, and I've got to tell you, I'm really excited. I don't care what anyone says for Wonder Man.
I'm glad you are. I hope it surprises me.
I cannot believe there has been no chatter at all.
No buzz. Zero buzz.
But
And doesn't
about
it come
the-
out like in a few weeks?
The viral marketing that they've been doing that has Ben Kingsley playing Trevor. Is Trevor Slattery? Is that?
Yeah,
that's
I
it?
haven't even seen any of it.
It's awesome.
But
he's like doing like inside the actor's studio, although it's not called
Right.
that, and he's like in character, and no one is talking about
Can
it.
you call it viral marketing if none of it goes viral?
I don't understand that they took all this time, and it is actually it's like a tree falling in the woods. If Ben Kingsley is part of a viral marketing campaign and no one's talking about it, does it actually exist?
Yeah, listen, I hope the show is great. You got Yahya Abdul-Mateen, you got Sir Ben Kingsley. I hope it's great. I really do, because, man, coming off of what was the last one that we had? Was it Ironheart? Was that the last?
I think so.
Oh, I did not like Ironheart. So I
Ironheart.
hope this one's good.
And then also, you know, I would be remiss if I don't mention Terry Metallis's Vision Quest that comes out later in the year.
Yep, I'm excited about that one.
Yeah,
Absolutely
because
excited
you know,
about that one.
he was showrunner of 12 Monkeys, the 4th season 12 Monkeys, which and I know, you know, everyone knows I love Picard season 3 that he did, but 12 Monkeys is one of the great television spin-offs of a movie I think ever made. And it's terrific. So I'm looking forward to artificial intelligence, data, all that, you know, working on Star Trek. I can't wait.
All right. I'm sure we got a ton of questions in here, so let's get to the next one. What's next?
Mod with two-parter went to a packed screening of The Housemaid last night to find my seat somehow double booked with someone else. Has this ever happened to you? The manager mentioned that he's never seen that before and was gracious enough to give me a free movie pass and popcorn for future time.
First of all, kudos to the manager, because you know what? Mistakes happen. It's always, to me, with whatever kind of company I'm dealing with, mistakes happen. Don't get worked up about it. The question is, what does the place do about it to try to make good for it? The fact that they gave you free stuff, that's great. So kudos to that theater manager. I have never had to see, in the era of reserved seating, I've never had that happen. Not once. I've had confusion happen where somebody thought they had my seat and then they double check the ticket and it's like, oh, you're right, I'm in the next row. Never had that happen. Also, I would like to know, what theater were you in that was a packed house of The Housemaid? Because there's not a lot of people going to see it, but
I heard it's pretty good. I want to see it. I like the trailers.
Anne went to go see it. She didn't like it.
Oh,
She
okay.
likes the book, but she didn't like the movie all that well. All right, what's next?
Lost Anchor Films says top films of 25: The Secret Agent, Weapons, Wake Up Dead Man, The Long Walk, Sorry Babe, or Sorry Baby. It was just an accident.
That was a really good one, by the way. I should have had that one on my honorable mentions. It was just an accident.
Train Dreams, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Hamnet.
Yeah, the reason I didn't mention Wake Up Dead Man at all is because, like I said before, I was really trying to make this about theatrical films.
Yeah.
And while Wake Up Dead Man did get a limited theatrical thing, I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it at home, so I didn't put it on my list.
And I've got to see a Hamnet. I can't wait to see it.
Oh, you know what? Again, make sure you don't bail out. Because,
Oh, no, I
oh my
won't.
God, it pays off. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's next?
We got Logan Stone with a $50 super chat.
Wow,
Oh, thank you,
thanks,
Logan,
man.
for supporting us on that level, man.
Thanks for another great year, John and crew. May you all have a fantastic 2026. Thunderbolts is his number 10, then Companion, Warfare, then 7 is How to Train Your Dragon, Rental, Family, Weapons, Black Bag, Wake Up Dead Man, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. So his 1 and 2 are the same as yours.
Yeah, I'm glad somebody else put How to Train Your Dragon on there. I still remember, Rob, when they showed us the full movie
Yep.
at CinemaCon,
Yes,
like
they did.
4 months before the movie came out. And I just remember when it was done, you and I kind of looked at each other like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I just couldn't believe what a good job they did with that movie. And I'm really excited about seeing the sequel. And correct me if I'm wrong, is this the first time that it's obviously not the first time an animated film has been made in live action. Was this the first time that the director of an animated film then also directed the live action remake?
I do not know the answer to that, but that was a Roy Lee production. And you know what's interesting about that whole franchise? As Roy told me in this interview I just dropped with him, it started out as a live action series. It was going to be a live action movie, and then the people at DreamWorks said, no, let's do this as animation. And so they did it. They developed it. It was originally going to be a live action movie. They made those 3 great. Those movies, by the way, are great.
Oh, they're wonderful.
They're great. The 3 animated movies are great in 3D too. And then they made this one. So and I think it's the biggest grossing of the 4. And so I think you might be right about that. I don't know.
All I'm seeing is Dean DeBlois. Yeah.
And by the way, they have finished shooting the sequel. So we're getting the live action sequel, and they've already finished shooting it. So.
Wow.
All right, what's next?
Chris Brickner. How did War of the Worlds 2025 not make your best list? It's the funniest comedy of the year. Just kidding. Seriously, that movie could be funny, bad at times. I only watched it by watching the Struggle Nation reaction videos. They were so good. They were so good.
Struggle do one to this.
Dude.
Oh, I gotta go watch.
I gotta watch that.
Watching them struggle.
Can I say I love those guys?
Yeah.
I find those guys. I still, when I think about, I know you're asking about something else, but I got. When I think about Struggle, I still go back to one of my favorite things ever was their Black Panther trailer reaction.
That one opened up new audiences for them, I think.
I think for me that kind of epitomizes those guys, and I'm not big into trailer.
Was that the one where they're standing talking about? They have the catchphrase that they're saying over and over again in front of
Well, no, because the one guy had the mask and he was
and
talking in a Wakandan accent the whole time they're doing it.
Yeah, I was thinking about something else.
My God. I again, I'm not big into trailer reactions at all. Obviously, you got guys like Real Rejects with Greg and John over there, and they're amazing. But Struggle are the other guys that I really like. So
they're hilarious.
I really appreciate those guys a lot. All right, what's next?
Chris follows up. After the Browns lost to the Steelers are now 0-4-1. When they play teams 8+ games below 500, how is Tomlin so bad when playing against awful teams?
He's not. Show me another coach who has led their team to the playoffs as many years in a row as he has. I mean, listen, and by the way, if the Steelers end up not making the playoffs this year, I don't think it's a coincidence that you had this ridiculously long streak of year after 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 year making the playoffs. And then the one year you get Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, you don't. I don't think that's a coincidence. Just saying. Anyway.
You know who's going to the playoffs?
The Jedi Knights of the Pacific Northwest.
That's right. The Jedi Knights of the Pacific Northwest.
And they may be going in with the number 1 seed.
I know.
Maybe. All right. What's next?
Team.
King Daddy Goats. No, Keaton Habeck with a $20 super chat. Thanks for a great year.
Thank you, Keaton.
His number 9, How to Train Your Dragon. One battle after another. If I had legs, I'd kick you.
There you go. We were just talking about that before the show started.
Yeah. Then his 6 is Superman, followed by Sinners, The Life of Chuck, Wake Up Dead Man, The Long Walk, and F1.
Yeah, good list, man. Great list. All right, what's next?
King Daddy Go. Going to see Stranger Things finale at Regal in a few hours. Me too. And I haven't been this excited for an event since No Way Home. Will you be watching? And I still have to watch episodes 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Or 6 and 7, I mean.
I am definitely watching it, but I think it drops at 5 p.m. Pacific time. I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time. So I won't be able to watch it immediately. I'm going to watch it before I go to bed tonight, because we've got our New Year's Eve festivities actually start at 5. So we got people showing up here at the house around 5. Then we're heading out, going to dinner. We got some activities planned afterwards. So sometime later in the evening, I'll watch it, but I'm not going to be able to watch it. And I'm very excited about it. I've really, again, I'm not one of the Stranger Things fanboys. I'm not huge on Stranger Things, but I really enjoy it. I like it a lot. I've loved this season so far, so I'm looking forward to seeing if they can stick the landing. But Rob, I'm very cognitive of this. The reality is, most shows good or great, do not have great finales. Like some of the best shows of all time don't really stick the landing.
Yeah.
MASH did. Star Trek The Next Generation did, with all good things.
Yeah.
But even some of the greatest ones ever, like Seinfeld, they don't. So I'm going to be really curious if they can actually stick the landing on this.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed Stranger Things. It's never been one of my, like, to me, I'm more of a Welcome to Derry guy. But Stranger Things has been
Welcome
good.
to Derry is so good.
And, you know, the fact that it's an 80s nostalgia trip is a lot of fun, and that it's really steeped. Whenever I see the opening titles, you know, it's that font that was on all of Stephen King's hardcover titles and paperbacks back in the day. So clearly, you know, for me, it's right up my alley. And it's cool. You know, I just wish that Vecna and the Mind Flayer win. That's
all right.
That's what I want.
What's next?
We got EJ Tan with a $100 super chat.
Wow.
Oh my God. Thank you, EJ Tan. Appreciate that, man.
A hundy. What's up, everyone? Hope you are all having a great day. Here's my list for the best films of 2025. Number 1. Let's start at the bottom. Number 10, How to Train Your Dragon. Then Companion, Final Destination, Bloodlines, The Long Walk, F1, Superman, Christie.
Nice to see some love for Christie.
Weapons and Sinners, and then Frankenstein.
Number 1, Frankenstein. Again, listen, I just got to say, I am so glad that I saw Frankenstein in theaters. Because the cinematography, you just can't appreciate how good it was on a home screen. I've got a 100-inch TV in my living room. You cannot appreciate it in home. It was visually gorgeous, so beautiful. I've decided, I knew when I saw Frankenstein, Rob, I came out of it saying, this is my favorite Frankenstein movie ever. And it might be my favorite Guillermo del Toro movie ever. Yes, maybe even over Pan's Labyrinth. But I said I need some time to marinate. I've marinated on for a while. Pan's Labyrinth is still my favorite Guillermo del Toro film, but it ended up being my second favorite. Did you finally get around? You got around to watching?
Oh yeah,
Frankenstein,
yeah. Because I did a couple of shows on a couple of Designing Hollywood.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
Kate Hawley, the costume designer, she's the best. I loved Frankenstein. I mean, a lot of people, like, I don't know what people expect from Guillermo del Toro, but it might be also the most Guillermo del Toro movie of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a Pacific Rim fanboy.
And that's even over Pan's Labyrinth?
Well, maybe. I mean, it's Pan's Labyrinth's it's different because I kind of put, I don't know. It's I love Frankenstein, but I've always loved Guillermo del Toro. But in my mind, he's got two different kinds of movies. Pan's Labyrinth is one kind. Pan's Labyrinth, Devil's Backbone, Kronos, and then he does his Pacific Rim,
Right.
Frankenstein, Blade 2, Mimic, and I thought I loved Frankenstein. I did.
All right, what's next?
Raymond says, has anyone knocked on your van while you were parked somewhere or doing a broadcast? And then will you do a meetup at a drive-in theater?
No, I won't do a meetup at a drive-in, but I did have one really weird experience. I can't remember which city it was. I think it was Dallas. Where I actually got there a day early, and I went to the same theater that we were going to do the movie meetup at to go see an advanced screening of Wicked for Good.
Right.
So I get to this movie theater. I park in the parking lot. I have about an hour or two before the Wicked for Good. And remember, the movie meetup isn't until the next day.
But you did say you were going to see Wicked for Good at that theater.
I did say I was going to go see Wicked for Good. So I'm in the van, and I believe I'm watching a Monday Night Football game. I think it was a Monday night game. So I'm watching the football game in the van, eating something, and all of a sudden I hear, I'm hearing knocking on the door. I'm like, at first I thought maybe it was like mall security saying, "What do you
Right.
do?" I don't know what it was. And I opened the door, and it was this dude saying, "It is you." When I opened the door, and it was a guy and his very, very pregnant girlfriend.
You should have tripped him out and been like, it's you.
It's you. Oh my God. And his very, very pregnant girlfriend. And they couldn't have been nicer. They were like,
that's cool.
we're about, I think they said they were about to head out of town, but they wanted to swing by to see if the van would be there. And so I took a picture with him and his girl and stuff like that. And they were very sweet and very nice. But yes, that
I
did
thought it was
happen.
going to get weird. Like this is a nice experience.
That was a good experience. It was just
Yeah.
odd. It's just odd that it would happen. But yeah, it was
That's
There you go.
cool.
I had
That's cool
that
that-
did happen.
That's cool that you took a picture.
Yep. All right, what's next?
I mean, with a $20 super chat. Thank you, John, for another great year. My list: Roofman, which is not on either of yours. Avatar,
although I liked Roofman. Roofman was good.
F1, Hamnet. I enjoy the acting growth of Channing Tatum personally.
Oh, he's constantly getting better.
Hamnet, Marty, Supreme, Fantastic Four, Frankenstein. It was just an accident. Then One Battle and Sinners. That seems to be the 1 and 2 punch.
Yeah.
Top two for me are basically 1A and 1B. They say.
Yeah, Roofman, again, that's another one that I put in that kind of category with like Rental Family, Fantastic Four, a movie I really liked this year. Really good. But not enough to put on my honorable mentions or on my top 10. But yeah, I thought that one was really good.
I would be remiss if I don't point out that both One Battle After Another and Sinners are Warner Brothers movies. So
Yeah.
you have the 1-2 punch of big studio films being the best of the year, which is stuff we haven't seen in a while.
All right, what's next?
Jack of the Mushi says, I saw 110 movies per AMC year in review. I hope you had a list.
Yeah, I trust that you put A-list to good use.
Yeah.
Because let's say, well, I'm not even going to do the math, but
It's over $2,000. That's like almost 25. Yeah.
So that's some good, you putting some good usage on that A-list card.
Did
man.
their stock go up today?
Yeah. After reading that news.
All right, what's next?
Did I do? Some of my honorable mentions: Weapons, the voice of Hind Rajab, Sentimental Value, Predators, Badlands, Life of Chuck, Companion, and The Lost. I forgot about The Lost Bus.
Well, I mean, it wasn't theatrical.
That's true.
No, but that movie's incredible.
But it was quite good. And Matthew, I don't know why Matthew McConaughey has been so inactive the last couple of years, but he's got a few things coming out now. But it was really good. It was really not. Again, it doesn't qualify to be on my list because it wasn't theatrical. Even if it was, I don't think it would make it on my list. But it was a really.
But it was really harrowing.
Yeah.
I never want to be in a forest fire.
True story.
I know.
All right, what's next?
We got Kalis Menons, who says $20 super chat.
Thank you, Kalis.
Hey, John, just started watching Star Trek: The Next Generation, and I really like it so far. Thoughts on the current state of Star Trek? Rob, you stay out of it.
I recuse
Up to
myself.
now, only familiar with Star Wars and the J.J. Abrams movies. Really liked Into Darkness.
Like, so my personal take on Star Trek, modern Star Trek, say if we're going to start it with the J.J. Abrams thing, was, and I'm just speaking for myself, while Star Trek today is hit and miss, like there's some things that just didn't hit for me. Then you get something like Strange New Worlds, which I think is remarkable. But here's a truth. The modern era of Star Trek has kept me a Star Trek fan. I mean, that's the best thing I can say. The modern Star Trek stuff, it has, while some of it has been really bad and some of it's been really good, it has kept me a Star Trek fan. You know, I had proclaimed Star Trek to be a dead franchise, and it was dead. I mean, it was literally dead. And the J.J. Abrams stuff reinvigorated it and brought it back. For good, for bad, whatever, but it kept it alive, and it kept me a fan. So, again, I don't know what to think about this new Star Trek Academy coming out. I mean, it's got Holly Hunter, and she doesn't just sign up for anything.
And Paul Giamatti.
And Paul Giamatti, who is remarkable. I'm not going to pretend like the marketing's been good. It hasn't. I still don't even know what it's about, and that's a problem. But again, you know, something like in Discovery, some seasons I thought were great. Some seasons I thought were gutter trash. I love Strange New Worlds, so there's that one. So, but whatever. But the best I can say is it's kept my Star Trek fandom alive, and I think that's a good thing.
I want to say though that today the Designing Hollywood that dropped on the channel today is with Neville Page, and he was a designer. He worked on the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. He worked on Discovery. He worked on movies like Watchmen, and he designed the creature for Cloverfield. So he was in with the J.J. Abrams group. Really great, really compelling interview, if I do say so myself.
All right, what's next?
Mike Levins. AMC needs to update their theaters in my area. They're falling apart. If not for A-list, I would totally go somewhere else. Interesting, because I know that they did that to a lot of areas. They updated. But.
Yeah, the AMC entered into a period right before the pandemic of really trying to update most of their theaters. Now, in our area in Burbank, they did a great job. They did a great job, but they are the largest movie theater chain in the world. It is very expensive just to update one, but you are 100% right. It's that this is their business, so you got to do it. So hopefully they go around to do it in your area too, because A-list is great, but if you don't enjoy going to the facility, let's put it this way. I've often quoted this real estate term, which is the right house, or the wrong house at the right price is still the wrong house. The right price for the wrong experience is still the wrong experience. And if you don't enjoy going to the facility, if you don't enjoy going in to that house of movie watching, if you don't enjoy it, then even with A-list, it becomes a questionable exchange. So you're right. They do need to pick up the pace on that, but do keep in mind, it ain't easy and it's really expensive and they have a lot of theaters they need to upgrade. So be a little patient, give them some more time. All right, what's next?
X-Men Superfan says, oh, also thank you for the, I believe it was like 20 memberships today. Thank you for that.
Oh, thank you, X-Men Superfan.
What would you watch in the last or first week of the year? I have a craving for tragedies and comedies. They seem to speak a lot about life, so they make sense for me. Moulin Rouge, shout for me.
Oh, I love Moulin. Moulin Rouge has always been in my top 20 favorite films ever made. I just love that one. Come what may. I've kind of mentioned this before. When I think about movies I want to watch in X situation or X situation, it really isn't about genre. It's really not. So I don't go in the beginning or the ending of a year thinking, I got to watch myself a good period piece, or I got to watch myself a good animated, or I got to watch myself a good comedy. I really don't. It really kind of depends on what kind of year it's been and what kind of mood I'm in. It could be a comedy, it could be sci-fi. I don't know, Rob, do you have a go-to movie for the changing of the calendar?
When Harry Met Sally.
Really?
Oh, that's a good one.
Because it covers Christmas and New Year's, but this year, the Rob Reiner situation is so.
Makes
but
it very bittersweet.
I love that movie so much. It's just it's comedic gold. The performances are Bruno Kirby and Carrie Fisher in it, of course, Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal and everybody else. I mean, I know Meg Ryan had been in a movie with David Duchovny and she's directed. I want to see Meg Ryan come back and be a theatrical presence again. I want her to.
Remember, they did that. What was that boxing one?
The boxing one.
Yeah, I know.
They tried to bring her back, didn't quite work. And listen, the reality is, fair or unfair, the whole situation with her and Russell Crowe kind of, because she was America's sweetheart. She was the girl next door, and then that entire image seemed to fall apart.
Proof of Life.
Yeah, that was it. Proof of Life. Well, that wasn't the one she tried to come back with. That was the movie.
No, that was the one they were on. And I mean, she's Jack Quaid's mom.
If they did another, I think they're planning on another Top Gun Maverick, a sequel. She could come back in as a cameo because she's Miles Teller's mom.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's true.
Take me to bed or lose me forever.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Meg Ryan's got to come back.
What's next?
Let's see. Where do we leave off? Harv's K, my top 5 so far. Still a few movies I need to see. Twinless, Hamlet, Sinners, Sentimental Value, One Battle After Another.
We were talking about Twinless before.
Everyone says it's great.
It was really good.
The Vixter in UK keeps telling me to see it.
Yeah. And then we got favorite animated. So Chainsaw Man movie, Happy New Year.
Well, I mean, I didn't go to see Chainsaw Man because that's not my bag, and that's fine. Did you ever get around?
No, I haven't seen the series.
But listen, I know people who are into that kind of stuff loved it.
Yeah, and the series, it's only like one season, so it's not like One Piece.
Yeah.
So,
which, by the way, I'm looking forward to One Piece.
I am too. I can't wait.
I tried to watch the animated series. I did, and it just wasn't working for me. So I wasn't going to watch the live action one. But a couple people convinced me to give it a shot, and I love the live action One Piece. I can't wait for the show to come back. All right, what's next?
I mean, my biggest surprise film of the year was Roofman, and my biggest disappointments were MI8 and Wake Up Dead Man.
Yeah, I liked MI8. I just wish it had been more. I wish they could have recaptured some of that, 5, 6 kind of magic and energy. For me, my biggest disappointment, easily is Marty Supreme. Like, because that was a movie that was one of my absolute most anticipated. You know, I'm a Timothée Chalamet guy. I thought it, and I'm also a ping pong guy. I was so excited for that movie. So for me, it was Marty Supreme, but for a lot of people, it's one of the best films of the year. So, all right, what's next?
Edgar Navarro lists off says Happy New Year. His number 10 is Predator Badlands, Twinless, Long Walk, Weapon, Superman, Life of Chuck, F1, My Dead Friend Zoe, which was not listed, and then Thunderbolts and Sinners.
You know what? My Dead Friend Zoe. That is one I totally forgot about. I remember I was totally enamored with the trailer. I thought it looked really interesting. And I think I just missed it. I don't even remember it coming out. So I'm glad you brought it up, and I'm glad you saw it, and I'm glad you liked it, because I thought it was a really interesting sounding movie. The trailer was good, but I never got around to watching it.
You know, John, it's becoming a problem. Like, we're movie pundits that are watching what's coming out every week, and we're missing movies, which shows me that some of the marketing, like a lot of these films are not getting, when they're even put up for distribution, even theatrical. I'm like, that came out theatrically and I missed it?
Yeah,
like,
it happens.
It's a weird thing.
All right, what's next?
We got Jake, who says, thank you for another amazing year, team. Been watching every day since college in 2017.
Nice.
I now have a career in this industry, and I have played a massive part in that. And you have played a massive part in that. Thank you for everything.
Oh bring that up again. I quickly look over to my monitor when Jonathan's reading off a topic so I can see it too. And I thought, and the monitor's a bit away from me, and I was sipping on my drink at the same time, and I thought it said, I now have cancer, and you have played a massive part in that. Thank you for everything.
Some people call us toxic. I mean, you know.
Wow.
And you played a big part in that.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, man.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm so glad you have a career in the industry. I'm so glad you have a career in this industry. You know what's funny? One of the great things, one of the great things about the movie meetups, especially in cities that have a thriving kind of filming industry there, like cities like Albuquerque and other places, the number of times I've had people come up and say, I'm a PA, I'm a designer, I'm a camera guy, whatever, who've come up to me and told me they work in the industry. And like, one of the truly most satisfying things to me is when they tell me, and I wanted to get into the movie business because of your show. I've been watching since 2000 whatever, and that to me is a really, really gratifying thing. I love hearing that. Like, that just really excites me. Anyway, I'm glad it's a career. All right, what's next?
Kayla says, also I watched Fight Club inside Llewyn Davis.
That's a good
Remember
one.
that movie?
I love that movie.
Well, that's the one that put Dr. Frankenstein on the map.
On the map, yeah. And Kylo Ren was in that movie, too.
I totally forgot about that.
Remember, he was like, whoa, in that song.
They sing that song.
He's like,
and so
"Whoa,"
is Timothy,
like
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
They're singing that song. It's so good.
The Dark Knight trilogy on my long winter break.
Well, those are all good ones to get caught up on. All right, what's next?
Reggie, do you think we get a fourth announcement to leak next week, like a Doom announcement or the full teaser for Doomsday? Have a happy new year.
Well, I mean, we were talking about this the other day. There's a report coming out that I don't know about the validity of it, but we talked about, there was a report coming out that they were going to do a traditional trailer for Doomsday at the Super Bowl. And I believe it, but not because I have evidence, but just that tracks to me with what we know with Disney's behavior and stuff like that and how they've handled this stuff before. Then there have been reports about not just a fourth character trailer, but maybe a fifth out there. It's funny looking at all these things coming out. Report says that Avengers Doomsday is this, and looking at it, and I can knowingly say, well, that's not true. And one or two that have come up that I've looked at and gone, there have been a couple that have come out, and I've gone and I've talked to Rob and I said, well, this is getting out because we know that one is true.
Right.
We obviously won't say which one is which. But I have no knowledge though about their marketing strategy. So I don't know what they're going to do with their fourth one. The third one is obviously Thor. I don't know what they're going to do with, or the third one, I should say, was the X-Men. I don't know what they're going to do with their fourth one. I don't know if they're going to do a fifth one. But I do buy the rumor, Rob, that the traditional trailer is going to be at the Super Bowl. What do you think?
I agree with that. It's weird. I mean, how do we know that they were going to release even these 3 teaser trailers? Because Marvel themselves, once they decide to put them out, they'll retweet them and everything.
Yeah.
But they've been doing this, and it's almost been like they kind of did it under the radar. Like, here you go. Put these things down. Like, they themselves. And I will say this. After the Super Bowl, I mean, I know the movie doesn't. I don't want to see anything. I'm going to do what I did with Endgame. Even though I can't be spoiler free, I don't want to know anything more. I'm going to.
Okay, but you already know everything.
No, but
he hasn't seen
but,
it.
I mean, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I don't. I just want to. I think that despite everything that everybody's been saying and all the naysayers about this, oh, it's a Hail Mary, Pat. But sure it is. They got to bring their brand back. They're gonna. I already know that. I don't want to see anymore. I don't want to see anything. I don't want to think about anything. I don't want to talk about anything. I want to go to the theater whenever we go. If we're going to go to a test screen, we went to see Endgame on the Disney lot. You and I did.
Yeah.
I want to do that. You know, I want to go see it with a bunch of fanatical fans, or I want to, like, we went and saw Infinity War at the El Capitan on Hollywood Boulevard. I sit next to John Schnepp, and we were like little kids, because I know it's going to deliver. And I don't want to see anything more. I want to forget it all. I want to forget what I know, John.
All right, what's next?
You kind of killed me. You said you already seen all of it, or you already know what it, because I just started thinking of Patrick Stewart's character in Extras, where he's pervy and every script he writes, the girl, like, their clothes somehow fall off, and he keeps saying, but it's too late because you've seen everything.
You can see everything. No, but we haven't seen it. That's the thing. I haven't seen jack shit.
No, yeah, that's important to know. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
Haven't seen anything.
Mike says 2025 seemed and 26 seems stacked with established IP. Do you think these crowd out the next Star Wars or the next major original franchise?
No. If this year, if anything, has showed us that there's a lot of room and hunger for original IP. This year's proved it. In a year with a lot of existing IP, there's been tremendous success with original. Sinner, we've just been talking about Sinners all day. Is a great example of that. Weapons is a great example of that. So no, I really don't think that's true at all. Thankfully, I don't think that's true at all. All right, what's next?
Christopher Diaz. My top 10 are Rental Family, Hamnet, Long Walk, Marty Supreme, Weapons, Frankenstein, Wake Up Dead Man, Sinners, One Bad After Another, and It Was Just an Accident is the number one.
By the way, it was just an accident. Director of that won the Palme Noir at Cannes at Cannes.
Palme d'Or.
Palme d'Or. Yeah. At Cannes. So again, that was one where the trailers came out, and I was like, God, this looks intriguing, and it ended up being. Thankfully, somebody brought a screener over, and
There's a movie that my friend Alvaro was talking about. It's like, it's not Tiesto, because that's a DJ.
yes,
It's something like that. And it's about like a father and son driving across a wasteland looking to go to a rave, and they're looking for the wife or the mother or something. He said that was one of the best movies of the year.
I don't recall.
It's a
it.
foreign film. I got to look this up here.
Oh, okay. Well, that would be why I probably didn't hear about it. All right, what's next?
All right, Charles Logan. I'm going to read this like Gambit. Bon ami, mon ami. Rivals, we may be, but Canadian homies always shall be. You make us proud, us down there, Frere. Best wishes for 2026 to you and all. Go Habs, go Leafs. Bring the cup home on native soil in 2026.
Merci. Merci.
John wants to be like, no, it can't go home if it's not with the Leafs.
Yeah, no.
You will take country over, right?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I remember, I even have arguments with friends of mine when I was younger. It's like when like the Leafs were out, but the Montreal Canadiens, obviously the biggest rival of the Toronto Maple Leafs ever. Not so much today, but all time. And I'd be cheering for the Canadiens.
So
and they'd be
Oilers
like,
too, or
how can you cheer for the Canadiens when you're a Leafs fan? Because I put country over sport, and I want a Canadian team to win. So I don't care if it's, whether if it's the Canucks or if it's the Canadiens or if it's like the Flames or the Oilers or whatever, don't care. If it's not the Leafs, I will cheer for any one of those teams to go there because hockey is Canadian and they got to bring the cup back home.
Go Kings, you know what I mean? Might have just gotten fired.
All right, what's
Solitary says, favorite 2025 games, I'd say Dispatch. Oh, you were just talking about that, Indiana Jones.
I'll tell you what, because I bought Dispatch a while ago. Finally got around to start playing it. It's so good. Now, it's more of a show than it is a game. I'd say about 30% of it, you're actually doing the dispatching, although it's fun. The dispatching itself is great, but I love this thing. I love Dispatch. I'm so interested. I'm 3 or 4 chapters in now, 3 or 4 episodes in. Have you started it at all yet? Dude, it's so much fun.
I'm still playing Helldivers.
The story itself is fantastic. The story itself is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I've been really getting into that.
I'm on my 3rd run of Ghost of Tsushima.
Tsushima?
Ugh.
I want to try the new one.
Yeah. The new Ghost.
The new Ghost of got nominated for a bunch of games at the
Yotai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I gotta get Expedition 30.
By the way, 2026, the new Onimusha comes out.
Which is that?
Onimusha was one of my favorite. It's a Capcom franchise. It's very similar to like Devil May Cry. Oh, I was an Onimusha fiend. Onimusha 1, 2, and 3. And the new Onimusha looks so. It better not disappoint. I'm setting myself up, but I can't wait to get the new Onimusha game. Cannot wait. Now, if they made a new SSX game, I can be happy.
All right, what's next?
We got David Hoffman who says, my 10 movies for the year are Hamlet, F4, Soups, F1, Naked Gun, Knives Out 3, Zootopia 2, Roofman, Thunderbolts, and Smashing Machine.
Yeah, again, Naked Gun for me is. I wanted to rank it higher. I wanted to be able to put it on at least my honorable mentions list, but the 3rd act of that movie, did you get around to seeing it?
No.
Okay. The 3rd act, like the first 2 acts, I honestly thought I was going to choke on something. I was laughing so hard in the first 2 acts. By the 3rd act, the shtick ran out of gas. And the jokes weren't landing anymore and whatever. Now, I still had so much enjoyment and so many laughs from the majority of the film, the first 2 acts, that I still am a thumbs up on Naked Gun, and I still recommend it. It's just that it fell apart so much in the 3rd act that I just couldn't end up putting it on any kind of favorites of the year list. That's all. For me, personally. But I still like it because the first 2 acts are so funny. All right. What's next?
Okay, we got Silvertail says, will you be doing CinemaCon?
Yes. We'll be going to CinemaCon this year. As a matter of fact, I've just started researching and planning booking rooms at CinemaCon this year. Don't know exactly everybody who's going and all that kind of stuff, but we'll be covering CinemaCon this year.
This year's going to be a blast.
It should be interesting. It should be really, really interesting, especially with everything going on with Warner Brothers and stuff like that. And I've already started to hear some whispers about what might be screened there, which is kind of exciting. So, but yes, we will be doing CinemaCon coverage yet again this year. And you know what? I'll say this. I'm a 2-bit nobody, and that's fine. And I'm totally, perfectly comfortable in that. I get to do what I love. It's really fun. I will tell you what we are best in the world at. I honestly think we have the best cinema. I think we have for years had the best CinemaCon coverage in the world. Might suck at everything else, but we have the best CinemaCon coverage in the world. I really believe that. I think we're the best at that.
Well, it's because you keep a tight ship. You run a tight ship. It's the structure that makes it so good. We're serious about it.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people are kind of missing the point of it. It's like everyone's focused on the cons, but like the Comic Cons, but like CinemaCon really is it for movies.
Yeah, it is, and it's getting more. And also, what I find interesting too about CinemaCon is it is a convention that is put on by and for people that own and run movie theaters. So the focus from the studios is on their distributors. And so there is an air of professionalism that isn't you know, Comic-Con's great, but they're like selling you something. Whereas the studios are in partnership with the movie theater owners, so there's a business ecosystem there. And I like the fact that the studios come out and show so much love to the people that are showing their product. And I think that's important.
I'm not, you know, you guys know this already, but you guys don't. So, literally last year, once CinemaCon was over, I literally got contacted by, and we're not going to say who it is. You guys already know. Not an exec, not a staff person. We got directly contacted by the head of a major studio, like the top person at a major studio, literally well, let me back that up a little bit. That person's head PR guy reached out to me and said, "Hey, so-and-so, head of so-and-so, would like to have a call with you if you're up to that. Would you mind?" And I'm like, sure. And sure enough, set up the call, had a great call with them. And it was just all they wanted to do was to call and thank us for our CinemaCon coverage and just say that they thought our CinemaCon coverage was the best out of even the major trades, out of like Hollywood Reporter, Variety. They just loved our thing the best, and got to have a really cool half-hour phone call with the head of this major studio. And I thought that was really fun. Again, I might be jack shit at everything else I do in life, but we do good CinemaCon coverage.
But you also, you lay out, man. You spend the money and you do it correctly. And like you got that new camera that shows us all sitting around, and
that was a game changer.
That was awesome.
That camera was a game changer.
It was, I mean, it's been so much fun to do that.
But you know what? Part of the reason why, easily the most expensive thing, besides Robert Meyer Burnett, the most expensive thing for our entire year, is
his per diem.
But the reason that I invest so much money in CinemaCon is because how many weeks do we go with doing shows without mentioning something that happened at CinemaCon?
Very few.
Very little, because literally they pack in a full year's worth of stuff in there that we then get to point to and reference all throughout the year. It's very valuable for us.
It really only dries out around October because most of that stuff we've seen then.
And not just the movies, but I remember seeing one of the guys from Harkins Theater speak.
Oh yeah.
A couple years ago. That was really impressive. And I have to say, hanging out with Cody Miller, getting to know Cody at
that was
CinemaCon.
a great time hanging out with Cody.
He's one of the, he's an Olympian and all that, but he's also one of the coolest dudes I've ever met in my life. I love that guy.
You know what's funny?
And he loves movies too.
He's very humble. For all he's achieved, he's very humble.
But I was just in Vegas 2 weekends ago. Anne had a big thing with the girls. So she said, "When do you go to Vegas for the weekend?" So I went out to Vegas just quick for a night or two. And as I was in Vegas playing poker, Anne texted me. She goes, "Do you know Cody's in Vegas right now?" Because Cody lives in Indiana.
And he's from Vegas.
He's born and raised in Vegas, but lives in Indiana right now. Anne and I went and stayed with him and his wife, Allie, when we did the Indianapolis movie meetup. But just last week or 2 weeks ago, Anne says, "He's in Vegas right now." I'm like, so I text Cody. He's like, "Are you in Vegas right now?" He goes, "Yeah, man." I'm like, "I'm in Vegas I'm at Caesar's Palace right now." He goes, "Hold up there, dude. I'll be there in like an hour." So Cody comes down. We went and had dinner, just chatted for a couple hours about life and stuff. Cody's the best.
He's the best.
He's the best. All right. What's next?
Reggie Phoenix, have you seen Eternity yet? My favorite rom-com of 2025.
Yes, I was very impressed with it. I wasn't as blown away by it as, because it's on a lot of other people's top 10 films of the year list. It wasn't that for me. But again, I would put it in that same category of, sentimental value. No, that's actually my honorable mentions list of Rental Family, Fantastic Four, movies that I really liked, really enjoyed. And I thought it was great. All right, what's next?
So we got Jay Mata, who says, have you seen The Chair Company yet? Do you like Tim Robinson's previous stuff?
I have still not watched a single thing.
I haven't either.
It's wild.
I keep hearing that.
It
I keep hearing
great.
It's crazy. So I might have to jump on that and give it a shot.
It's wild in ways you wouldn't expect.
By the way, I totally forgot that Fallout Season 2 had already started.
Oh, yeah.
I got to
Today's episode 3 is out today.
I totally forgot about it. I got to get on.
So far, so good. Let me tell you.
All right, what's
Red
next?
Boy. Hey, John, Jack O'Connell was so damn good in Sinners, my top villain of the year.
Dude, he was so good in that.
So good.
We're just looking for love and fellowship. Oh my God, he's so good in that. Oh, such a good character. All right, what's next?
We got X-Men Superfan. Says, at the end of this year, I figured your favorite actress ranking: Meryl Streep, Katharine Hepburn, Betty Davis, Joan Crawford, Viola Davis, and Greta Garbo. Did I figure it out?
No, but I mean, you do have to have the Street Monster. I mean, it's just whether you like it or not, the Street Monster is right up there. The couple of names that you have to include now, very quietly, Olivia Colman has worked her way into that conversation over the last number of years. She is just, and by the way, this year she did a little film called The Roses, which I thought was fantastic. I loved The Roses. So Olivia Colman's got to get into that conversation as well as why am I forgetting? Won the Academy Award for Fargo.
Frances McDormand.
Frances McDormand. She's got to be in the conversation, like at some point there too. So yeah, that list is not my all-time list, although Streep would be at the top, but you got to figure in some of those names too. All right, what's next?
Alex Von Gollum. Hi there. Your comment on the challenge of rooting for an unlikable protagonist in Marty Supreme and how that influences your enjoyment of the movie made me think of satisfying movies with unlikable protagonists. I proposed The Godfather Part 2 with Michael with a masterfully written script. It can be done. Happy New Year.
Well, because here's the thing. The difference with The Godfather is the change in the character of Michael is the story. That really, at the end of the day, is the story.
He's a tragedy.
Michael is a war hero, a guy who comes from a family of criminals, but he's the clean one and he wants to do things right and all that kind of stuff. But is loyal to his family, pulls him into something, and you see how it starts to mutate him and his character. And that's the story. That to me is something that's very different from something like Marty Supreme, who I want this guy to fail because I hate this guy. This guy is a piece of crap. I really didn't like the character at all. And sometimes that's the point. I don't think it was for Marty Supreme. But again, for many other people, most other people, don't be deterred from seeing it just because I didn't like it. Because most people, like Rob's got it on his best films of the year list, and many other people do too. It didn't hit them that way, but that's the way it hit me. That's all. All right, what's next?
And we got Ron Squad. Hey, John, huge fan of the show. I know you can't say much on Doomsday, but from what you've heard, in your opinion, is Doom more terrifying than Thanos?
Yep.
I didn't think I was kind of Team Thanos for a while.
You're also Team Vecna, so
You're also Team Vecna. What can I say that isn't saying anything?
I hear he wears a lot of metal.
It takes a while to get there, but it gets there. Takes a while to get there, but it gets there. I'll just say that.
That's what she said.
Next? Anthony says, hi, guys. In 2025, I found myself discovering and binging older TV shows. I love doing that.
Yeah.
2 of those shows are The Diplomat and Goliath. Both great shows.
But The Diplomat had a brand new season this year.
Yeah, but it's been around for a bit.
That was a third season.
This is a third season. You know, it's so funny you mentioned that because my wife literally just mentioned that to me the other night. She goes, I keep hearing I got to watch The Diplomat. And I'm glad she did because I saw season 1 of The Diplomat. Loved it. And I totally forgot to watch season 2.
Oh, season 2 and 3 are good.
And so I got to get on those.
And by the way, Goliath rules. It's Billy Bob Thornton.
Yep.
It's before Landman. That show's so good.
Oh, Landman's great.
I mean, but
that one literally just came out last year.
Yeah, but Goliath is a great show, and so the supporting cast is great. It's funny to see Billy Bob Thornton, who had this incredible career theatrically, making movies, and he's been a great character actor for years and a leading man, whatever, to have this renaissance on television. He's so great in TV, and he makes. I mean, I could just listen to his speeches on Landman on repeat all day long.
All right, what's next?
Anthony says, no, Shadowy Fauna says, my most anticipated movie was Avatar, but Demon Slayer and Infinity Castle blew away everything else for me. It was beyond epic, cinematic, saw it 5 times.
Yeah,
Now, that
I mean,
is someone
Avatar, again, for
who
me,
loves their anime.
you might notice I didn't have Avatar on my list. But it, again, I put Avatar in the same category that I put things like Fantastic Four,
Yeah, me too.
Zootopia 2. Like, the movie I really quite enjoyed. I really quite enjoyed. It just wasn't on the same level as the other 2 Avatars for me, personally. I still like them, but I couldn't put them on my list, though.
Plus, to me, I already know what they are. Like, I don't know, unless something is like Return of the King, which I would put on my favorite movies. If they're franchise properties, that's why I didn't put superhero movies. Like, I really love Thunderbolts. Loved it. But I feel like I should showcase on new movies, films that are new, that are unique, that need the exposure.
Yeah,
Thunderbolts,
I just wanted to say my favorite.
yeah. But I mean, I did say my favorites.
Yeah.
I mean, but you know.
All right, what's next?
We got Thought News says, best movie of this year. It's between Sinners and One Battle After Another for me, but I go with One Battle After Another.
I won't debate that. I mean, One Battle After Another is really good. It's really, really good. Like, for me, it's still Sinners. For me, it's easily Sinners. But One Battle After Another is just of the quality that I wouldn't debate anybody if they preferred One Battle. I mean, there's just too much good stuff about it. It's so great. And that car, if you read it on paper, the car chase scene in the 3rd act of the film would read like one of the most boring car chase scenes in the history of cinema. But when you're watching it, you're white-knuckled.
It's wild.
Oh, so well done. All right, what's next?
All right, our final 5 here. Anthony C., have you seen the Obsession teaser? It's about a guy who wishes his crush would fall in love with him, but it goes wrong. Gives me the Substance vibes.
I've only seen the teaser. Wait, this is the one, right, where the guy's calling a hotline and says, "Can I undo?
Oh yeah.
Can I modify the wish?" And the guy on the other line, "You wanna cancel your wish?" "No, I just want to make a change to it." We really don't do that. And that's all I saw. But I was like,
yeah. Me too.
this looks really. Was there another trailer?
I don't know. That's all I've seen. But the premise alone sold me.
Yeah, sold. But if you're talking about that, yes, I've seen it. But if there's a full trailer for it out, which I don't know if there is or not, you guys can let us know in the live chat. Then I'd love to see it. But I'm very interested in the film.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Drew says, I'm a big fan of Jesse Plemons. He's in a film called I'm Thinking of Ending Things, directed by Charlie Kaufman, and he's phenomenal.
By the way, I believe he is now, how perfect is this? He is the now young version of Philip Seymour Hoffman in Hunger Games, which is perfect casting.
Perfect casting.
Perfect casting.
Sunrise on the Reaping.
By the way, speaking of Philip Seymour Hoffman, one of the films on my list, The Long Walk, starring Philip Seymour Hoffman's son. Yeah.
Who was great in it.
Who was so good in it. So good in it. Like him and was it David Johnson?
Yeah.
Who was also in Alien Romulans.
Yeah, he was incredible.
So him and Hoffman together in The Long Walk made that movie. Absolutely made that movie. All right, what's next?
We got Wayne. Hey, John, have you started Fallout? We just talked about that, season 2.
Yep, nope, haven't started. I totally forgot it debuted, and I love Fallout, but I will binge and get caught up.
All right, our final 2. Hollow Lord says, hi, rumor Lakeith Stanfield is back in Silver Surfer.
Well, considering there is no such fucking thing as a Silver Surfer movie right now, no, don't even listen to that. By the way, I'd be down. He's an amazing actor, but don't believe that. All right, what's next?
All right, final super chat of the year.
Of the year.
Anthony C., what 2025 film was your biggest disappointment?
I already mentioned it. Marty Supreme.
Yeah.
Because there was no film. Like, talking about disappointment, you're talking about the movie that has the largest gap between how good you thought or how much you thought you'd like it versus how much you actually did. And it on that criteria for me, it's Marty Supreme, because to me, it was one of my most hotly anticipated films of the year, and I really didn't like it at all. What would you say is your biggest disappointment?
I don't think I was disappointed by movies this year. Even movies
There
that,
wasn't one that you went to that you were really thinking was going to be great, and it ended up being one you didn't like.
No, but I had more surprises of how good things were than anything that I was disappointed by. Really, honestly, I'm trying to think of what was I disappointed by, and I don't think
What
I
about
was.
Captain America 4?
You know what?
But
That
we
was a
kind of
disappointing one.
I'm gonna have to say that
we were, but I was also feeling like I was gonna be.
Yeah, but that was the thing. I was hoping it didn't disappoint me as much as I was hoping it would. I was hoping it would stick that landing because I really wanted it to be good.
I started to get excited for it once we started seeing Harrison Ford as Red
Yeah.
Hulk and everything.
And I loved Anthony Mackie, and when I watched it, it was just bewildering to me. You know, I know it was cobbled together, and it was more like a sequel to The Incredible Hulk, and I felt they really let Sam Wilson down. They really let Carl Lumley down. They really let everybody. They let the audience down. That movie could have been great.
Somebody in the live chat's mentioning Running Man. That's another one that I was just convinced was going to be pure awesome.
One.
And I liked it. Don't get me wrong. But
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a crushing disappointment, but it was disappointing.
Because I was sold on the trailers. I was like, yes.
Especially after how good The Long Walk was. To get two Richard Bachman books in 1 year. But I don't want to say, here's the thing. There was still stuff in The Running Man that I really enjoyed. Overall, I don't think it worked. I completely agree. And I would never say that Edgar Wright would ever, I would never say he did something that was the most disappointing thing of the year, because I'm a big Edgar Wright fan.
Somebody's also saying Tron, but I wasn't disappointed in Tron.
I got what I thought I was going to get.
Tron Ares was exactly what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, I was hoping it would be better, but you know what? I didn't hate Tron.
No.
I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate Tron Ares.
It was just unimpressive.
Yes. Yeah. It was forgettable and all that kind of stuff. But
I mean, it had lots of cool stuff in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great elements. And oddly enough, Jared Leto almost saved the movie. But so I can't say that was a huge one. Somebody else mentioned Jurassic World. The trailers convinced me this one was going to be great. And it wasn't great.
They pulled the Transformers on you.
It wasn't great.
Pull the Transformers.
It wasn't great.
All right, guys. And that'll do it for this year's set of installments of the best damn movie-related show on the internet, the John Campea Show. Thank you guys so much for being here, not just today, but for the whole year. Thank you so much. It has been a remarkable year for us. I'd put this out on social media, I think about a week ago, but we had ended up with over 50 million views this year. Our view count was up this year. Our subscriber count was up this year. Our hours watched was up over last year. Like every metric we had was a bigger gains than we had last year. I mean, it was just an amazing year. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. I'm not going to go into a big, long state of the year thing right now. We're going to sign off, but just a big thank you guys for everything. Guys, big importantly, let me just preach for a second. Let me sermonize you for a second. Tonight's the biggest party night of the year. Do not drink and drive. Make your plans now. Uber to wherever you got to go. Make sure you have a designated driver. Do whatever it is you need. Plan to crash at a buddy's place. Do the things you need to do now. Don't put yourself in a situation where you have to make a decision later when you're not in, maybe you're a little bit tipsy or a little inebriated. That's not the best time to make the decisions. Make your decision right now. Make plans right now. Because you might be fine thinking to yourself, I'll take the chance. That's fine if it was just you, but you're taking the chance with everybody else's lives on the road tonight. So guys, please make your plans now. Be responsible. Don't be a dick. And have, most importantly, a great time tonight as we usher in a brand new year. I want to thank, of course, our technical producer, Jonathan Voico.
Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.
The writer, director, producer extraordinaire, Robert Meyer Burnett.
Thank you. And tomorrow, John, this is a little weird. I did a 14-track AI album.
Oh, does that drop tomorrow?
As an experiment. It drops tomorrow.
That's right.
It's called The Singularity is Here, based off of Roy Kurzweil's novel, The Singularity is Near. And it's the geekiest, most deep-cut, weird movie fan album ever. There's even a song about John Carpenter and Kurt Russell working together, and a funk song done from the point of view of HAL 9000 from 2001 and 2010. I don't know if anyone's going to listen to it, but the whole point of doing an AI experiment was to see what AI could offer me. But the real question is, did it work? Did I make songs that are worth listening to? Only you can answer that. And if you hate them, I want to hear that too.
And of course, most importantly, the biggest of all thanks to you guys. Thanks for being here, being a part of this show, not just today, but for the whole year. And we'll look forward to being back and ushering in a new year. Until then, my friends, my name's John Campea. Bye-bye.